Good morning and a happy Wednesday to everybody. We're back here on Hammer Away. This is Viking Stew. And as you can see on the screen, this is something that is very near and dear to me. As a big fan of this gentleman's music over the years, Mr. Russ Ballard with us today.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
All righty, folks, let's get right to it. Here is Mr. Russ Ballard. And where are you coming to us live from today? All set. Are you all set? Are you locked up? Oh, there it is.
It's breaking up here.
That's okay. We'll have to deal with it.
Yeah. I'm in a place called Hertfordshire.
Nice. How's your weather there today, as a matter of fact? We'll give it just a second here. Yeah.
It looks like it's
Wow, that's wild. It's usually like that. Everything works just fine before you get started, and then once you get started, then something goes weird. All right. We'll have them pop back out and pop back in, maybe. See what that'll do. We were having a little technical difficulty a little earlier, so we'll see what's happening, and we'll get this rolling. So, as I was telling Russ, right before we started, I said, it's a real honor to have him here on the show, and great to see him. Great to meet him. Finally, I'm glad you all are here with me this morning. And hopefully we'll get this rolling in a great way. I was looking at I went over to grab a couple things out of my collection, and I did Into the Fire, as we talked about a little bit last night, is one of his albums, solo albums, on which this was on Epic Records, on which he did his own recordings, as usual. Throughout the 70s and 80s, he was recording his solo albums after he left Argent. So, but I was also realizing that he recorded many albums with Argent, and right up until 74, when he did his first album, solo album. So, quite the career, quite the time of working for him. I mean, I couldn't imagine keeping it together with a band and then trying to do your own solo work at the same time, which, we've seen over the years. Many people have tried to do or wanted to do. Rob Halford, I was just talking about him the other day, where the record company wasn't really hip to him doing that. So that's why he left the band at the one point. And the reason, of course, like I say, everything happens for a reason, right? And everything happens when it should. So, so at that point, because of that rift between the record company and Rob Halford and him leaving to do his own thing for a while, the movie Rockstar was made. So we have Rockstar out of that situation. So we can't always just be upset with what's going on. Sometimes we got to go with the flow. So, Russ, it worked out great this morning. Like I say, everything was looking good. Everything was fine. And then we got started here, and I don't know whether things change, signal wise. But we'll get this rolling. It'll happen. I'll keep an eye on my email too, and see if Denny gets back to me here, and see what's shaking. And then hopefully we'll be able to get this together, because this is great. Let me show you these real quick so you have a view of what he's had over the years. This is the first Russ Ballard album, which came out the same year as the fourth album that he worked on with Argent. After that, they put out an album called Circus without him. And I was checking credits to see if there was still any Ballard tunes on those, and there wasn't. And then he put out Winning. This was 74. This was 76. And then this is the one that had the multiple hits on it that were then recorded. 2 years later, you would have Head East doing Since You've Been Gone. Here was his third album, At the Third Strike. Now, I love this album cover. This was 1978. And I dig this album cover because it really reminds me of what was yet to come in the 80s. It was a little more of an art style on the cover than anything I remember at that time. Maybe some Pink Floyd style stuff. Maybe that's what I'm thinking would be more of an art style like this. I know it was into the 80s when Judas Priest did Point of Entry, and that was kind of an interesting situation. Then Barnett Dogs came after that. This one, 78. It seemed to me there was a little bit of a break to 81. I was thinking there was a 3-year situation there. And then Into the Fire, which I just showed you there on vinyl. And then I always thought of this album as being an album called Voices, but no, it's 1984. It's just self-titled once again, kind of like what Heart did when it was all of a sudden you're kind of like, okay, we're going to do a shift and we're going to kind of reset. Because that's maybe a little of something I wanted to ask him about. Again, don't like to drag people through their past too much. But The Fire Still Burns then came around. And I'm going to check my email again just to make sure, see if I got in a note. Nothing yet. Okay, I'm going to reset it and see if there's anything. Okay. All right. Okay. The Fire Still Burns then came after that one. And then The Seer is this album and the next one are two that I'm not super familiar with at all. And there's the Book of Love. And I'm looking forward to checking those out, especially The Seer. I want to see how that went from The Fire Still Burns into that. This album I really, really enjoy. It's Good to Be Here. It's really, really good. And I'm eager to talk to him about a couple of songs on that record, especially the three releases that he did of three of his tracks on that album, which I can tell you what those are here as soon as I get this open. And as I made me a nice big playlist of Russ Ballard stuff. So let me get to that, because Kicking the Can is one of my favorite songs on that record already. And it was just really, really cool. Yeah, it's a long record. It's got a lot of tracks on it. So check that album out. It's Good to Be Here. If you're a Russ Ballard fan, you haven't bought it, just buy it. It's a great record. I love it. Then there's the new one. This is Songs from the Warehouse. I'm eager to talk to him about this. And it may come down to we may have to do this another time. I hope not, but we'll see what happens here. That kind of makes me sad that if it doesn't work out, but that's all right. It's cool. We'll make it work. But this is a great album. He's got Songs from the Warehouse, and I'm eager to talk to him about this. I'm sure other people already have, and there's plenty of info out there. And this is a great 2-disc set, Songs from the Warehouse and the Hits Rewired. So he did a whole disc full of all the tracks that he's written that other people have recorded, and sounds great. Now, let me just tell you something. This gentleman is still rolling on tours. He's been over in Europe doing touring, and he's originally from England, and he's been doing the touring. Now, he, like some of my other favorite artists, Rod Stewart, Barry Manilow. Some of these artists, he's turning 80 this month. So this is the first day of October. He turns 80 at the end of the month on Halloween. He was born on Halloween. So pretty cool. That's kind of why I was looking forward to having him today. That's why I say everything happens when it should, because I do like the fact that we turned over into October, and that's his birth month. So that was kind of cool. So hopefully we'll be able to, there's a classic Argent Days. And again, I think that album was a really cool benchmark for what vinyl did. And I know it's expensive these days. I know the vinyl's expensive, and I was talking to my son a little bit about what he's researched and why it's so expensive. I still don't quite get why the old vinyl has to be so expensive when, it's been driven off the lot, and it's, and it's having issues in itself, but if you have any questions you want to put in, let me know. If and when Russ can get back to me here, then we'll ask him those questions. Otherwise, if you leave your questions in here in this comments, then I can ask him when we get this back together. I wish it would have, we've had a little bit longer, but you can see this vinyl. Let me see if I can hold this up. We got plenty of space here. I can move back. So you'll see this is a gatefold, this classic album, third album, all together now. They have all this information in here, just like kind of like the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper. But look at this. I love this. This was a third installment for these guys, and yet it has all this cool info in here and pages. This was wonderful. I was so happy to get this. There's Russ right here. So it's got a nice little layout of what was going on then with all of these. Here's an important person, Robert Henrit. This is a person that Russ had worked with prior to Argent with his brother, and then Robert joined the band as well. So, but yeah, this was what vinyl was all about. And guess what? We're looking back. Hey.
Wow.
It's an adventure this morning.
Dear, that's funny.
Oh, man. All right. So we're back. We're live. We're still live. We're still good.
We're still live.
Yeah.
Good.
I was just kind of going through your catalog here. I have all these photos of your albums. So I was kind of going through
Okay.
those. Yeah. I love kind of doing that, because the one thing I don't want to do is drag an artist through their past again. I mean, you know what I mean? It's,
Okay.
There was that old skit on Saturday Night Live with Chris Farley where he's interviewing Paul McCartney, and he's like, "You remember when you were in the Beatles?" That was so cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I kind of wanted to get started today. Normally I would start with something maybe from your past and talk about that, but I really want to hit it off with really what excites me about your career right now is you're out touring. You've been doing a lot of shows in Europe, correct?
Yeah. I've always played in Europe. Every year I do a few. So yeah. So it's always good to be involved in live. Doing something live.
Yeah. And how are the crowds? How's everything?
Great, especially Germany. Germany is really good.
Really?
Germany, also Portugal is very, very good.
Yeah.
I've got a few coming up. I've got something coming up this month actually in Portugal. I got playing at the casino in Estoril, which is the biggest casino in Europe. So I've played there a few times before, and that's sold out.
Wow! Congratulations. As well it should be. I mean, here's the new album. songs from the warehouse. And then the second disc, I was just telling them about this, is the Hits Rewired. Um, I want to thank you, first of all, for the song Soul Music, because I love soul music. I remember growing up and the hits that I heard on the radio that were soul tunes, and I have no loss of love for any of those still today. I just love them. I love
I'm
them.
the same, Stuart. You know, I mean, soul was always a big part of my life as well. You know, and the
Yeah.
Motown thing, and the Ray Charles, and the Stevie Wonder, and
Mhm.
all the, you know, James Brown, all the soul pioneers. You know, they were very, very important, weren't they? You know, and
Yeah.
you know, it all comes from blues, but
Yep. Yep.
you know, and I thought the idea of writing a song called "You Are Soul Music," the
Mhm.
idea of, you know, the who I'm speaking to
Yes.
has
Yeah.
soul, and you know, and trying to equate a person with soul, you know,
Yeah.
so I found that pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's a great song. I love the song.
Thank
Um,
you.
and I love the message because there are people who do affect us in that way where it's just, I don't know. It's that there's a comfort in that old soul music. That's what I dig is the,
Yeah. When I
you know,
think things like who's the guy that did so tired of being alone, so tired of being on my
yeah,
own.
you're talking about yeah,
Reverend
yeah, the Reverend Al Green.
Al Green,
Yeah,
you know, that kind of thing. You
yeah,
know, that was
yeah.
it's nice to touch on you going back. I mean, it was such a big influence on me. You know, even when I
Mm,
started to write rock tunes, I mean, I was always sort of sometimes since you've been gone. When I wrote "Since You've Been
yeah.
Gone" all those years ago, I mean, that started off as a like a Tamla Motown tune.
Wow.
I mean, the same melody, the same instrumentation and things, but once you put an overdriven guitar on there, you know, you had a
Hmm.
rock tune.
Right. Right.
It was that simple.
Well, you
Now,
know,
Ross, how are things not spoken to you for many years? We played football together over the park. Oh, that's brilliant. That is brilliant.
Good day, Paul. How's it going? Thanks for writing in, man. Anybody else out there, if you have a question, just let us know. I don't, how much time do you have? I don't want to keep you too long. I know we had,
No,
yeah,
if you, you know, just ask questions, Stuart, you
sure.
know, and if I have to go to the bathroom, I'll go, you know.
That's great. I can usually, like I told a friend of mine, I said, let's come back here and do a gig next year. We can do 35 minutes of originals, play a cover, and I can talk for 5 minutes. Um,
That's
but
great.
uh, but I do really. Is there anything that you haven't talked about yet about this new album that you would like to say here? Because a lot of times, you've already talked about this album so much, I am certain. But is
Yeah,
there
quite a bit.
is there anything that you haven't talked about with this album? How are people reacting to it when you're out there?
Yeah, it's been amazing, to be honest. You know, absolutely amazing. And
Yeah,
I've done most with American people.
really.
Yeah. I did 71 podcasts
Wow.
in about 3 weeks.
Wow.
And mostly American, the
Hmm.
Europeans, quite a few in Germany and, you know, in Europe,
Yeah,
quite a few in this country as well. But
man. Wow.
basically, I keep getting asked the same questions. That is the problem, you know. So sometimes
Yeah.
I tried to find different ways to answer, and it doesn't work. You know, you
I,
find the best way to answer. So in the end, you keep answering in the same way, you know, and
yeah. Yeah.
it might get boring for people to listen to. But
Well, and
I,
that's kind of,
I will answer
yeah.
anything you want to ask me. Yeah.
That's very cool. I really appreciate that. I know I interviewed Doug Feiger many years ago from the Knack, and he said the same thing. I said,
Yeah.
Is there anything you don't want to talk about?" And he said, "No, I'll answer anything. Just ask. It's no big deal." And I
Yeah.
appreciated that, but still at the same time, you fight to be different, and have something.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
You
Yeah,
know?
I'm not that eloquent, I'm afraid, Stuart.
Neither am I, brother. That's why that's why we're here today.
Yeah,
Um, And so let me see. So how did it feel coming into these tracks? Again, now what I do want to make mention of, and I love this record that you did. It's Good to Be Here. I love this record. Kicking the Can is probably straight off the bat one of my favorite tracks on this album.
That was the first track I think I wrote for that album. That was 4 years ago.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know. It's said on here it was is it was it 2015?
Was it 10 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, dude. Now, see, now that almost makes me go back to my question. I had another question that I was like, maybe I'll ask it, maybe I won't. But let me finish this thought. You had mentioned about Since You've Been Gone. Now, you did a very heavy, like soulful ballad version of Since You've Been Gone for that record.
Oh yeah, I did. That's right. Yeah.
I thought that was extremely beautiful. I just, it pulls the message out and gives it a whole new feel. I just
Yeah, it's a strange thing, when you put a different backing track or you change a backing track, it can change the whole dimension of what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
If you slow something like Since You've Been Gone down and listen to the lyric, you're much more au fait with the actual words. Oh wow, I never realized it says that. I never realized it said that. But when you slow it down and lift up the vocal a little bit, you can hear the words and what's going on. And I mean, we've all had those. When I wrote that tune, I tried to put as much as I can into my life, into my song, my life into the songs. And things like everybody's had the, falling to the ground and waking up, having a dream.
Right.
I had that so many times when I was a kid. I fall to the ground and I wake up. So I get out of bed. That's fictitious. So I get out of bed, put on my shoes, and in my head, thoughts go back to the breakup. Well, that's happened to everybody. These four walls are closing in. That's from the old, that feeling of. I remember that happening in a movie, a black and white movie when I was a kid.
Wow.
And the walls, it's like something like a gladiator, and the walls close in, he's been in this room and the four walls are closing in. And it's such a freaky thing. But I was pleased with that. I must listen to that again, actually, that slow version.
Yeah. And I throw the challenge out to everybody to check that out. It's Good to Be Here is the name of the album. And it's right at the end. It's the second track. The last three songs are re-recordings of New York Groove, Since You've Been Gone, and You Can Do Magic. And dude, you really touched me with that one yesterday. I just was like, that is brilliant. I mean, and it goes back to another thought that I had that I won't bring up yet. But also, I was thinking about when you talked about time, you're like, oh, it was that long ago. How is it as a musician? I've often thought about this of musicians and actors, because I, in my own very tiny little way, know how the time goes by and how quickly life goes.
Yeah.
When you're looking to the next thing. So I've often wondered about that with musicians, because here you are. I was just letting everybody know that at the end of the month, you have a birthday, because as your song says, you were born on Halloween.
Yeah.
And so I was like, how is time when you're a musician and a writer, where you're looking for that the next album is coming.
Yeah.
And you're working on that. How does time go for you? Is there a time where you're like,
I always find, and I'm in the studio. I was in the studio this morning from early, from very early. And as always, it flies by, to be honest. It flies by. If you find something you're really into, there isn't any time. It's like, there's if you're immersed totally into one thing.
Right.
It's amazing how quickly the time goes, you know,
You're
especially like having a passion, that kind of thing where you wake up every day. I woke up this morning, I had to get in the studio because I'd started to write this tune and I wanted to, I finished the tune actually. And I
Yes.
started to make a demo of this tune and I listened to it and I thought, before I went to bed last night, I thought I must change that. I'm going to change the key.
Mhm.
So I couldn't wait to get in there this morning. So, you know, then you start putting a new guitar down, a new bass down, and then you put a new vocal down and you've changed the key. And you're immersed in that time. You're immersed in it, you know, and there is no time actually. It feels like there's no time.
Mhm.
And we invented time, really, didn't we? We invented
Mhm.
time as humans.
Yeah.
Basically, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, really, you know, I don't think there were any clocks in the Stone Age years.
Yeah. I mean, they were called rocks, right?
Not
rocks,
clocks, just rocks.
the
Yeah,
rocks in the sun.
yeah.
Look, it's over there now. So that's when I usually go record. Let's
Yeah,
go make some rhythms over there with the sticks and
yeah,
everything.
yeah. That's it. Yeah,
Because the rock
yeah.
is there. Yeah, I think you know what's interesting about that. That just takes us right back around to relationships. That we find that same thing when we're hanging out with our favorite people. All of a sudden, you're like, I've said this to my best friend multiple times. I'm like, I can't believe it. It's time for me to roll already. You
Yeah,
know, feels
yeah.
like I
It's
just got
mad.
here.
It's
So
mad, you know.
yeah.
It's the same thing, you know, with sportsmen. I think it was Billie Jean King said that she loves it when she's totally in. I think she used the word. She's totally in the zone when it's smooth. When if things are really, really smooth and there's no time,
Yeah.
it's magical.
Yeah. There you go. That's exactly what it is. It is very magical. We
Yeah,
got Richard Cowell here.
yeah. Rich is my old trainer.
Get out of town.
Well, my young trainer.
I
It's
was
my
gonna
young
say
trainer. It's not old. He will never be old, Richard.
another birthday coming up.
Isn't nothing. Yeah. Thanks for that, Richard.
Yeah, is that Richard in the picture there? I guess looks like he's in
Yeah,
good
yeah,
shape.
yeah.
Well, you know that's what I was gonna say to you as well. I mean, you're in great shape, dude.
I feel good actually, Stuart. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I feel
awesome.
really good.
What is something that you do? Do you watch? Is a lot of watching what you eat, watching what you do,
Yeah, well, you know,
or just recording a lot?
well, I love life. The fact is, you know, my uncle died going back about 8 years ago, I guess. He
Okay,
was 98, but he was
gotcha.
so in such good shape.
Yeah,
But he was 98, you know,
yeah,
and he fell over, which is the old, you know, that's the old one that people understand. You know, people fall over when they get old.
yeah.
He fell over and it made all the difference. He had a trauma, went into hospital. And I went to see him in hospital because I always said that he would live to over 100, you know.
That's what I
And
say about my dad.
yeah, he was lying in bed in the
Mm,
hospital. And I said, "What's the secret?" I said, "What's the secret of, you know, getting to
yeah,
your age?" And he went,
yeah.
"I don't think I worry, Russ. I don't think I worry, you know."
There you
But
go.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's
I love
huge.
life. And I think as I'm getting older, you know, they say you are what you repeatedly do.
Hmm.
And if you keep doing what you've always done, try to keep your legs moving. I still play the piano a lot. I still play the guitar all the time, the bass. I used to play the drums because my dad was a drummer. So I sort of gravitated towards drums initially,
Me too.
then piano, and then guitar, then singing, then writing tunes, you know. So
Yeah.
I've gone through everything. I first turned professional when I was 16, but that was
Wow.
as a guitar player for Adam Faith.
Yeah.
So I was with him for 3 years, and then we became best friends. And you know, we started to do things together,
Sure.
produce together, and things like that. But I can't get enough of life, you know. But it's flying by. But I'm still writing tunes, and I've just written a song for a new song for Ronnie Romero, who's the singer The new, I say the new singer, he's the latest singer in Rainbow. He's got an album out, and I wrote a song for him this year, and I'm actually going over to Madrid.
Okay.
The next week or the week after to actually do a video with him. He's asked me if I go and, perform in a video with him. So I'm going to do that.
Wow.
And, I've written a couple of new tunes for Graham Bonnet too. The original singer. Was it? Yeah, it was the original singer in Rainbow, wasn't he? Really?
He was he was the second one. Yeah.
Yeah, Ronnie Dio. Then Graham. Well, Graham's a good friend. Yeah. And he got in touch with me. He said, "Any tunes?" And I've written two with some friends of mine that have been coming into the studio. I said, "Graham's looking for a song," and they're part of a band called Space Elevator. It's Julie and David, the guitar player. Julie's the singer, and we wrote two for Graham. Sent the demos off. He loves them, so it looks like he's gonna record them as well. So I might have a Graham Bonnet album. I've never written 3 on an album for Graham.
Wow.
I did write I Surrender, but I think he did a version of that years ago, but then it was Joe Lynn Turner had the single with Rainbow.
Yeah, I love to write. I would like to write more lyrics and do more things like that. But I love to write, and I love to come up with things. And there is something that I wrote for you for this show because of the fact that you are somebody who's obviously, I can say this, you've heard this a million times, who has written so many songs that you've not only recorded yourself, but that other people have done and made into major hits or just major turning points. And I wrote this thing, and it says this, if you don't mind indulging me for a second.
No, go on.
Some might say nobody knows who you are. Yet I think of all the millions who know exactly who you are, you're the artist who brought vocal life to an early 70s rock anthem with Argent, wrote a tune that gave the needed pop rock spark to Ace Frehley's solo Kiss album in 1978, making it the highest charting of all 4 of the releases by the band members, brought the voices of thousands of rockers together that same year, singing Since You've Been Gone, and again in 79, locked in 3 solid offerings to the McVicker soundtrack with Roger Daltrey in 80, and 81 brought the winning touch to the new era of Santana on Z-Bop and helped us surrender to the new lead vocals of Joe Lynn Turner in Rainbow.
Yeah.
Shed renewed life to the solo careers of the 2 brilliant female voices of ABBA, Annie Frida, and Agnetha, and Kiss would represent the anthem God Gave Rock and Roll to You Too for Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey and more, all the while recording your own albums from 74 on through to today. They may not know you by name, yet, as Shakespeare once said, what's in a name?
What's in the name? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's kind of the way I just feel about it all. I mean, I emailed Denny yesterday and said, I'm sitting here watching McVicker at this right now while I was having a lunch break. So
yeah, she told me. Yeah,
those songs really, really hit me. And it was those 3 songs, and I didn't even realize that My Time Is Gonna Come wasn't even in the movie. It was just on the soundtrack.
Yeah, it's on the soundtrack. Yeah, but I wrote a different. Roger asked me to write a song, another song. A song. He said, "Put yourself in McVicker's position. You're in a prison for many years, and the feeling of wanting to be out of the prison." So I wrote, "My Time Is Gonna Come." That kind of idea, that's. But I had a different lyric. My lyric fitted that. I played it to Roger, and he said, "Yeah, it's a different lyric." that's a different lyric. I said, yeah, but it's more of a gospely lyric, you know, which I've used on this new album. I did My Time Is Gonna Come. Free Me. It was Free Me, actually. I was thinking of Free Me.
Yeah.
But My Time Is Gonna Come. Yeah, I mean, I wrote that as like a gospel tune with gospel lyrics. The idea is free me, free the people for whom it rains, free their hands, they're bound in chains. Free the people, free people. No, free. It's like that all the way through. Can't you hear them say? Can't you hear them say? Can't you hear them say? Free me. So I changed the whole lyric for McVicker, and it's a guy trying to get out of prison, you know. But it's quite interesting. I just love. I love writing lyrics. It gets harder as you get older, because
really? Why do you think that is?
Yeah, when you're young, you're trying to sort of you're trying to sell albums and things like that, you know, especially if you're writing for other people. The things that are universal are love songs, wherever you come from in the world, you know, because we're not separate from each other. Everybody's had a relationship with a partner, and that feeling of love, being in love, losing love, and that kind of stuff, you know, that's common to everybody. So the biggest songs I think ever been are love songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so you tend to, if you want to appeal to the majority, then you write a love song, but try to write something that affect, you know, I have always write something that I've experienced. I usually try to write something that I've experienced. And so, yeah, that's always best for me.
Yeah. I kind of always looked at it. We went, I think we went through this. Well, I did as a listener. I went through it with, you know, like hair metal, where they, you know, a lot of times they'll want to put that on grunge. Well, it failed because grunge came through, and you're like, well, I don't think that's all of the story. You know, part of the story, because there were millions that loved hair metal, and then it just got disingenuous, and all these bands got rich, and you're like, what are you going to sing about now?
Yeah, I mean, it is fun now. It's finding lyrics that are interesting, but it's harder. It's harder to find something that, you know, to go really deep and find something. I think I've written a really good tune, actually, one that I was going to do myself, but I said to Graham, I've got another song here. I've got a Graham Bonnet. Yes. I've got another song here that he hasn't heard yet, but I've done a demo of this tune. And he wrote to me yesterday, and he said, you know, any more news about the song? And I went back to him and said, you know, I've got this song, but I've reviewed it, and I want to change it. I want to change the key. Yeah. I want it to be higher. He said, oh, higher is better. Higher is better. He hasn't heard the song, but he said higher is better.
Thank God he still can get up there too. I mean,
he can still get up there. But you know, trying to find a lyric. But I found a really good lyric, and I said this would be a great duet, because there's two words in the song that keep coming back, and it's like the opposites of each other. Wow. You know, in a relationship, you know, and I've written about it, and I'm really pleased with that.
Wow.
So I haven't sent it to him yet, but I'm going to send it to him. And
well, yeah, and I might as well hit this now that you're mentioning him again, because I've oddly enough, I've followed his career. I mean, you know, from, you know, the earliest I heard was Rainbow, and then with him, I wasn't listening to his solo stuff back then, but prior to that, but then he did Since You've Been Gone, and then he did it again with Alcatraz live. They recorded it live, and then he did it with Impellitteri, and now he's done it with the Graham Bonnet Band. And I was like, this is an interesting love song, or love affair with this song with Graham, and I just was eager to hear about your relationship and friendship between the two of you over the years, because he also did SOS. And
that was a popular song for him.
Yeah, I had a buddy of mine. He and I saw Graham recently. I keep in touch with his wife all the time, and we chat. And he's been on the show a couple of times. And and he played here recently, and he did that song live, and it was fantastic. He's still on it. It sounds great.
Yeah, still on it. Yeah, still on it. Yeah.
Man. But what is that like? How did that start for you two? Did you know each other prior?
No, I knew Graham's voice because he was in a
Mm.
band. He did a Bee Gees song years ago. It was a big hit in England.
And he was good friends with those guys.
Yeah, he was a good friend.
Yeah.
But that his vocal on that, if that was going back to the 60s, I think, wasn't
Yeah,
it? Was it?
you're right.
It wasn't 70s.
Right. You're
And he sings,
absolutely right.
Only one woman. Only. He's right in the stratosphere.
He is stellar, man. That guy
And he
is
was
stellar.
stellar. I mean, all those years ago, you know, and then he came back. It didn't surprise me that he came back in a sort of a metal band, in a classic rock band.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that's what I was saying there. You know, pop music and metal music is, you know, you have the same, it's the same components, the
Good
same
point.
kind of chords as Tamla Motown, actually, the same, you know, half a dozen chords.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's only really been I met him when he was doing his solo album, and Cozy was on the drums in the studio.
Yes.
And I forget why I was there to do something. I think they were doing Liar at the time.
Wow.
And I was in the studio at Rack Studios, and he had a few to drink. I remember, I've never mentioned this to him, but he'd had a few to drink that afternoon. And it was very funny. It was very funny. I was chatting to Cozy, and I was talking about heavy metal drumming, you know.
Oh, yeah.
The idea, he said, it's not a matter of playing loud. And he was sitting at the drums, and he said, you know, it's all about displacing air, which I agree with. You listen to Carmine and people like that, and Harry James from Thunder, that it's heavy more than loud. And it's a great feeling. It gets right into your body, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was trying to in fact, I think they put it on his first album. I said, why don't you do it? And I was half joking. I said, why don't you do it? He said, we need more songs. I said, why don't you do a heavy version of Be My Baby, the Ronettes?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they did, didn't they?
I think that's right. I think that's true.
I said, you know, because that's Spectre, and it had that kind of heavy, you know, displacing air kind of thing. But in the studio, it was very heavy. Tonight we met, I knew I needed you so. You know?
That's awesome. Yeah, it's from it's the same album he did Night Games on.
Yeah, that was Night Games. That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that
was a good song.
Wow. Yeah, he's got, there's this release from 81. It's Line Up, and it's got Night Games, SOS.
Yeah.
Be My Baby, Liar. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's, now I got something else to listen to today. After we're done. Can you tell me just a little bit about the albums Seer and Book of Love? The Seer and Book of Love.
Yeah. The Seer. I was really getting into at that time. I was really getting into sort of less writing about trying to find something deeper in lyrics, trying to find something deeper, trying to express things that I felt myself. And it became even more, it became heavier inside me with Book of Love.
Okay.
It was one of these kind of things that, you know, and I think I'm not particularly religious.
Okay.
I'm not particularly, but I started to write tunes that had a gospel kind of feel, But I always felt like I loved gospel music. I just loved that whole scene, you know, the Clara Ward singers, the Black Nativity singers, and all that kind of
Mahalia Jackson.
Mahalia Jackson, whatever I love that thing. And so I wanted to say something deeper that I felt, but not particularly religious. I'd done it before quite a few times, but I was more interested in getting into that deeper side of myself, you know, and
as you can be, not necessarily religious, but spiritual.
you're spiritual. I feel deeply spiritual. I felt like that when I was young. I couldn't understand how humans could be so evil with each other.
Right.
And it's even now, you know, and I
And
started
yet still
really,
have so much love somewhere in there too.
yeah, because, you know, because we are, as an organism, the human organism, there isn't a bad person or a good person or a happy person or a sad person or a con artist or, you know, we're all of that.
Yeah.
We're all of that to some degree, because we're creatures of moments. One moment we can be really happy. Next moment we could be really aggressive and nasty in a mood. Next moment we could be crying, and then we could be laughing. Immediately after crying, we're laughing, and we could be happy and laughing and joking around. Then we could be really moody. Then we could be angry. Then we could be. We're all the same. We're not. We think we're so separate from each other.
No, we are.
Wherever we come from in the world, you know, we think we're separate. We're not separate from that. From being a creature of moments. And I wanted to write about this kind of thing. One moment you can feel like this. That's when I wrote Book of Love. The idea was I wanted to call it Book of Love, because I wanted every song to contain, to be another signpost on the way to finding love. I'm in regression at the start of the album.
Yeah.
Basically, this is what happened to me. I'm on the psychiatrist's couch, and he's saying to me, sleep, go to sleep. Tell me what you remember. You know, that kind of do. I could see your face in the distance, too far away, really to say if it's beauty or beast. My skin did creep, and my skin did creep. What started silently shook my brain so silently. And suddenly it ceased. Where do you go when you sleep? What do you see when you dream? What do you see when you dream? Why do you cry? What do you cry? And the doctor's speaking to me, and I'm singing the words, you know.
Yeah.
When you sleep, when you sleep. And then I go into this journey, and all the songs, and there's a lot of songs on there, but each song is a new signpost. The idea of getting to another journey, and again another journey where you feel like this, another journey when you're that kind of person, another journey when you're that kind of person, another journey when you're that.
Wow.
And that was the idea of it. And each song is that going right the way through. And I end with a thing. It all builds up to a crescendo. I'm finding more and more about love. You know, the idea throughout the album, I find this this idea of, you know, being on the road as we all were as musicians, and, you know, being on the road for 3 months, and there's girls knocking at your door and things like this. It's very difficult when you're 23, 24 years old to sort of, you know what I'm saying? It's very difficult not to partake in an affair or whatever, because it's being human.
Yeah, right.
But I wrote this thing that goes, she looked great in hip hugging silk. That time of the night, the wine, the seductive light. I kissed her mouth, it's then we made love, or something like it, or maybe not. I said, I'm sorry, I got to go. I could still hear her crying from the stairs down below.
Wow.
And as I walked into the night, not feeling good, not feeling right, I said, on to the next valley and hill, the newest fashion, the next cheap thrill. I thought, give me time, I've got plenty still, but time waits in silence and moves in for the kill. Still, I tried it, chewed it, swallowed it down, always staring at the stars after falling to the ground. Thought, this is it, this has got to be it. But no, on to the next. I played love, made love, and thought, is this it? Is love so cheap, game, a small affair? Or is there something deeper we could share? I found the priest, the monk, the rabbi, so secure they know the way, won't even listen to what the other has to say. Still, I tried it, chewed it, swallowed it down, always looking at the stars after falling to the ground. I thought, this is it. This is it. This has got to be it. But no, on to the next.
Wow.
That's one. And I end
Wow.
with a song that says, just like me, after all we're traveling and searching for happiness and searching for whatever you're searching for, I ended up with this. It's how I feel about life. I met a girl from China. I met a girl from China. She became a friend. When I learned to understand her, there was much to comprehend. I sympathized with the stories. She laughed at my jokes. So many things about that time her memory evokes. I said, just like me, you get angry. Like me, you get mad. Like me, you're happy. Then you're a little sad. We could blow smoke rings from the same cigarette. We could write a song, maybe a little duet. She said, just like me, you get angry. Like me, you get mad. Just like me, you're happy. Then you're a little sad. We can blow smoke rings from the same cigarette. We could write a song, maybe a little duet. She said, eyes that are shut, they will never see. If you want the fruit, you got to shake the tree. Everyone in the world's playing blind man's buff. Just like me, you're looking for love. Then I met a man from Africa, Dakar, Senegal. Apart from the color of his skin, he was like a man I knew from Montreal. I said, do you get scared? So do I. Think there's nothing there? So do I. And then he said, have you ever faked love? Me too. Give not enough? I do. Do you state your case? Well, so do I. Then close your mind to the reply. Have you said there's no God? Then prayed at night. I have, I do. And again, I might. Do you get so angry you can't understand? You do, I do. So does every other man in France or Spain or Timbuktu. What's inside of him is inside of you, and inside of me is in every other. Whoever you are, you're my mother, my father, my sister, my brother. Just like me, you get angry. Like me, you get mad. Just like me, you're happy, then you're sad.
Wow.
But I mean, this is what I was going through. These things, all these things are in my head. It's great to have the ability of, whatever, to be able to put your feelings down. And I feel this about human beings. They have to have an outlet for their feelings, but not war.
Yeah.
You can talk things out,
Right.
Because we're the same. I don't want to go to war, and I don't want to hurt anybody.
No.
Maybe some people, maybe it's their passion. Maybe their passion is to argue, and then go to war and go to war and go to war. Because we've had so many throughout my lifetime. We've had so many. I'm not going to mention them. Right way through my life, from when I was born, we've had this political people arguing.
Yeah. And I and at the same time, since there is that kinship between everybody, there's something there that's the same between all of us.
Yeah, we're not separate, but Stuart, we're not separate. We think we are. You tell me what you want in your life, what you need, what you really love. I'm the same. I want the same as you, basically. But one moment I can be angry. Next moment I can be loving. Next moment it can be funny. But that's familiar to everybody.
Yeah. And I think it's those things that are cultivated in us when we're young that make one thing more than another.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly right. And, it's the kind of people you're around, because when you're born, when you're very young, you don't have a concept of God. Mum and dad are God. So if dad says this is good, or you watch your dad, you watch your mum, you watch what they do, and you think, yeah, that's right, that's wrong, that's right, that's wrong. Yeah. Because they give you a good grounding. My mum and dad were loving, very loving people, and I tried to pass that on to my kids, Now my
Same.
grandchildren, I'm
Yeah.
doing that. And
Yeah. Same.
it's magic. You realize your life changes. Your life changes as soon as you start to sort of get into love.
Yeah.
And love isn't this thing. Oh God, I love her. I love her so much. I love her. All these feelings. There's nothing to do with that. There's very little to do with that, But M. Scott Peck said something really great. He wrote "The Road Less Traveled."
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And the road less traveled. He said, I'm just trying to think his definition of love. This is great. It should always be action. So you can love anyone. You can love people. They just need you. You help them. You help them in any way you can. And that's loving them because it's action. That's love, action. So you help somebody across the street or whatever. You help them just walk across the street and pass on to the other side. Or what do you need? Give him this, give him that, give him $5 or $10 or whatever. And you feel good, she feels good, he feels good. M. Scott Peck said it's always an action.
Yeah.
It's the act of extending oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own and or someone else's spiritual growth.
Yes.
And that's why I live by that. I read that. I thought that's great. That is great. That would do me.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. I used to work in a high school. I just retired from that last year.
Yeah.
It was never my career choice, but it was a special needs high school, and I always looked at the students and I said, "Who's the most important person in the room to me or to you?" And a lot of times they say me, and I'm like, okay, I get where you get that. That's usually either that's kind of how we feel about it today because we've been told we have all we need. We're all we need.
Yeah.
We can do it. But I said the most important person in the room to me is you. Because, and I understand that might be a tricky thing for people because if they don't reciprocate, then you feel like you're doing something stupid. Like you're just laying it out there and nobody's repaying. But it's not about me, right?
No.
It's about doing something in hopes that they'll see it and get a good feeling from it and want to do it themselves. So the more you show and teach that, then the more people will do the same.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But it is explaining, as you're doing it there, it's so true, and we need each other. The fact is, without we need each other desperately. But most things we do, you have food. Where do you get the food from? Either you produce it yourself by having an allotment in the garden, and you sort of put some beans and potatoes in there, and you can grow it yourself. But you're not likely to do that. But so what do? The farmer, he does whatever he does and produces the food, goes to the shop. The farmer gives it to the guy in the store, the vegetable store. I'm vegan, so I mean, I don't eat meat or milk or butter or whatever. So the vegetables go into the store. Somebody goes and gets it for me. So I need that person in the store, the person to go and get it for me, who then comes and cooks it for me. She lives with me here, so she does that, so we need all these people. We need the people to drive the produce from the farmer to the store. And then we need somebody to pump the gas into the cars, into the trucks, right the way through. Then we need someone to sell the trucks and the cars. It goes on and on.
It goes on and on.
We think I don't need anybody. We need everybody.
We need everybody. Everybody needs everybody. And that's why everybody's running around going, chill out.
Yeah.
Cut the crap.
Yeah.
Don't act a twat and just get it straight.
Exactly. Yeah.
I do have a silly question. Well, it's not a silly question because it deals with what you like to eat. What is the toughest thing for someone as a vegan and as somebody, what's the toughest thing for somebody else to get for you? Because produce is an interesting thing. You can get it one time and it's spectacular. You're like, oh my God, I love those apples. And then you get them again, and maybe they're not as great.
Yeah, there's plenty of types of apples, you know. And I
Yeah.
love the green ones. The green, I can't remember what they're called, but they are.
Well, they have the
Yeah.
Granny Smiths or
Granny Smiths are great.
Yeah.
Granny Smiths are great.
Yeah.
Tox's orange pippins, I think the other ones are really, really.
Yeah.
I always love those, but I have an apple every day. There's always apples here, so I have an apple.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not always easy to get. The trouble is, you go into a restaurant as a vegan.
Mm-hmm.
For years and years, it was hard to get the food. Now it's much, much better.
Right.
I mean, I was vegetarian 45 years ago.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's how long it's been. And, but I used to eat eggs and I used to drink milk, but I stopped doing that 20 years ago.
Interesting. What
And
was the turning point for that?
I always wanted to, I always thought that was really, really sad. I like to see animals in fields, you know, and, you know, we don't need to do it. I know the farmers won't like this very much. We don't need to, you know, we don't need to do it. The fact is, I'm proof. 45 years I've been living on vegetables and stuff.
Yeah. It's a totally interesting realm. It's something that I am in no way, shape, or form available to go, yeah, I can talk about that. You know, I'm like, I only, you know, and there's so many sides to it that you're like, and it goes back to the fact that, yes, we are all, it's that old adage where you're like, it's the same, but different. You know, we're all the same.
Exactly.
But different,
but different. Yeah.
It's kind of like Christianity with me, with that situation with, you know, where people are like, well, you have to do it this way, but it's an individual experience. I'm like, okay, well,
you see, if you have to do it that way, that becomes a system.
Right.
And I think it's the problem with all organized religion, you know. A religion is a system of faith.
Right.
So, you know, it gets further and further away from the original thing. You know, when you think about Christianity, then you think Jesus Christ walked around. He didn't have any stained glass windows, I don't think, in his anywhere.
And he wasn't worried about carrying around a golden goblet or, you know.
And he did. I know he probably gave his disciples, the different guys, you know, gave them things to do. He gave them things to do and whatever, but he didn't, you know, they didn't have to wear different clothes from the other guy and bend down. You're in charge of all of us, you know, and you know, and he didn't even say, go, as far as I know, go build these buildings and have stained glass windows and have this logo that's a cross. And doing all this kind of stuff, you know.
You know, that's a great. Thanks for saying that. That's a really interesting way to say it. A logo, right?
Logo, you know. I mean, it's the craziest logo. You know, if there's one thing, if you said to a designer, we need a logo for Christianity. This is the story, and the designer says to you, "Well, we'll have the cross, a man dying on a cross." That was the last thing you would do,
right?
But the fact is,
interesting take,
It is that's the fact of the matter, you know, that we do that, you know. So,
because I have my faith, but I'm not you know, I had a person ask me that they went to church where we had gone to church, and they asked me after we had left for, you know, different whatever reasons. They were like, "Are you going to church anywhere now?" And I was like, "I'm no." I said, the world is my church. You know, I just want to be out here doing it right and using what I learned as a Christian. But I'm not, you know, I don't like the hypocrisy that I see a lot of times. And I'm like,
it doesn't need to be organized, you know.
And that's in me too. I'm not going, everybody else is a hypocrite.
No.
I make my mistakes, so I'm a hypocrite as well. And I'm like, look, I'd rather be among it, just like Jesus was.
I did say that on my album, actually, Stuart. There's a charlatan in all of us.
Yes, I just listened to it. Just heard it yesterday.
That's
Absolutely.
what I was saying about, there's an angry person in all of us. There's a
Yes.
happy person, and it goes on. And there's a
Right.
charlatan in all of us,
Right.
And
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
you're right.
you tried to fix it. You tried to fix it, and
Yes.
just to be a little kinder. I think who was it said that? Who was it said when he was asked? A very spiritual guy was asked.
Mhm.
After all your searching, going
Mhm.
through the religions,
Mhm.
and you're searching for happiness, you're searching for love.
Mhm.
What have you learned? I mean, on his deathbed, he said, "I think to be a little kinder. That's all. To be a little kinder."
Right. Right. And I think about a lot of times anybody talking about anything, but I always think of theology when people are arguing about what does this mean or what does that mean. I'm like, could you both have this faith, right? You both are studying the same thing. Can you just maybe take the time that you're arguing about whether those three words mean what you think or he thinks or she thinks? And can you just go out and help your neighbor? Maybe just
Yeah.
let's take the main course here, the
Yeah.
main reason, and let's go use that with our neighbor
Yeah. Exactly.
instead of telling them, well, you're going to hell. Well, okay. Thanks, but who wants to hang with that?
It's true.
And
Yeah.
and if you're trying to tell me that your side is good, why would I want to run around telling everybody they're going to hell? If they're going to go, that's their decision, and it's
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
else's.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
somebody else's decision, not mine.
Yeah.
I've had
I
people in
know.
bars when I play a gig. Oh, you must think I'm a bad person. Why? Because I don't go to church. I'm like, I, that's not between you and me, man. I'm just here playing a gig. I realize you want to that you kind of believe what I believe, but I'm not here to judge you. That's not between you and me.
Absolutely right. Absolutely, I
You
agree.
Yeah, that's it's awesome stuff. I love that. That's why I say this is music and the human experience.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
we do. Thank you really for not only going through some of those lyrics and things. That was beautiful. I love that.
No, I didn't know whether I was doing too much, but once I start that, I want to finish the story.
And I really appreciate that because
You can edit as much as you like.
I will edit nothing because that is the beauty of the show. I'm truly thank you for doing that. Not everybody's going to do that.
And thanks for mentioning Book of Love, actually,
Yeah.
because not a lot of people know the album, Stuart,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I-
Well,
for me, it was always a labor of love. It took me 5 years to make that album.
wow, really?
It took me 5 years, yeah.
Man.
But I said everything then that I wanted to say. I don't think there's much more I could say about love.
Well, and what a beautiful way to be able to put it down and have it as
It's amazing, and I feel, as I've said before, I've been saying in these podcasts recently, to have the to be able to get up every day and have a passion that you can follow and not settle for a job so you can pay your mortgage and and attend to a job that you don't really love. When I think being an artist or being a potter or being a sculptor, whatever, to be able to get up every day and look forward to getting into that studio or getting on the stage, it's magic.
Oh, it is. It is. And you can do magic. Wow, I didn't need to have to do that, but I did. It really is magic. There's so many times that when I'm getting ready to perform, just recently I did it with my band, and it's I never wanted to play a lot because I don't want to get burnt out because there's so many other things that I do in life. And I enjoy being with my wife and being here on weekends.
I'm the same. Yeah, I've always felt the same. When I had kids, I mean, I'd been on the road before I had kids. I was on the road 16 to 16 to 28. I was on the road, constantly on the road. And then as soon as I had a child, I thought I'm going to find it very difficult to stay on the road. I want to watch him develop, you know. And then my daughter, then my granddaughter, then my granddaughter, my grandkids.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy going out there and doing a tour. It's nice to have every element, isn't it? You know,
yeah.
They say it's the variety is the spice of life and all that.
Mm-hmm. It is. It is. And you know, I probably am the master of none. But you know, I still try to have fun with things and just do what I can. But there's times where I get into a gig and I'm like, you know, I worry about it or whatever. And I understand that that's just because I care about it.
Yeah, exactly.
You have a level of care. Whether I've prepared enough, that's one thing, but I do get in there and just have fun. I do have fun.
That's the best thing in life, I think.
Absolutely.
Fun. I remember that.
And then here's the thing, another one from Paul, Mr. Blackwell. If the team that we both support reach a cup final this season, would you consider writing a song for them and record it with them, with you singing with them as well?
What's the team? Do we know?
Paul? I don't know.
Paul, is that Spur? It's probably Tottenham Hotspur, I guess, isn't it?
It's Paul. Yeah, I'm not sure. Paul Blackwell said it. What team do you support with the final cup or the cup final?
It's probably Tottenham Hotspur.
Okay, there you go.
I would think.
So if they win, would you consider writing a song for them and recording it with them?
Yeah, I don't know if they want to sing one of my songs. but a lot of the guys.
Couldn't you do Winning? Couldn't you do Winning with them?
We could do Winning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was suit Spurs as well, because it's one day I was on the ground.
Exactly.
It couldn't be found.
I'll tell you.
So far down that I couldn't get up. It's perfect.
It is perfect. So there you go. I don't know. You know.
One day we was one of life's losers. Even our friends were our accusers. In our head, we lost before it had begun.
See?
Now we're winning. We're winning. Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah. And
get Carlos to do the back.
Heck yeah! There you go, man. There you go. And then Kicking the Can says, "Book of Love is my favorite album of all time." Russ,
that's brilliant. That is brilliant.
Thanks for saying that.
That is great. Well, that's lovely to hear.
Yeah, that is great. My favorite song of all time. It's kind of interesting. It's a Todd Rundgren, "Hello, It's Me." That one's always stuck with me.
It's a big talent.
Yeah, and I don't think he likes playing it anymore.
He doesn't play now.
So I'm like, I could never tell him, "Hey, that's my favorite song." Oh, thanks, great, wonderful. But I did have this question about songs over the years, like basically like with Billy Joel. He always said that, you know, the songs are like his children, and he didn't like the way some of them grew up. Do you have any tracks like that, you know, you feel maybe are a little bit of a black sheep that you're like, Yeah.
I was thinking of one today, actually. I was thinking, it suddenly came in. Maybe it was for this show.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it came into my head. There was a song I wrote for like a country band, but they were more like an acoustic band. They were very, very pop band.
Okay.
And it was actually while I was with Argent. It's the time I was in the band.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm not going to tell you what it was called. I'm not going to tell you the lyric of it either. But I mean, I've written all sorts of things. You know, when it comes to sort of kind of old-fashioned stuff or whatever, you know. I mean, I wrote a song called Mr. Will You Help My Sister? But it was I had an idea for a musical, and I wrote this musical.
Okay. Go ahead.
This was years ago.
Go ahead.
And I had a song in there, and I had the choreographer in there, you know, the choreographer and stuff, and all that stuff, and the whole dancing thing. But this guy's singing to an American entrepreneur at the Dorchester Hotel, and he sings this song to this entrepreneur from LA, and he gets in. His sister's a very talented dancer and singer. She's like a Michael Jackson, a female Michael Jackson. She can sing and dance, and she's amazing, you know.
Yeah.
And he sings, "You should see," is trying to impress this guy with the, you know, the guy can't see his sister. His sister's not there, but he's trying to tell this guy how amazing his sister is. And he goes, "You should see this girl, you know she's straight from hell. She's Hollywood potential, and to be a star, you must know it's essential that you meet her. You won't find a chick that's neater. She's just 16, and I think she's just seen. I bet you will surrender when you see her black suspender. She's a future English musical queen. You should see my girl. You should see my sis. You know she's worthy of this. Her first name is Polly, and she works in the folly in the world. There's not another, and she loves her mother. So if you're thinking what I think you're thinking, you won't get your way. She could be construed as sleazy because she makes it look so easy. If you sign her in December, she can make it by May." Mister, oh Mister, won't you help my sister? But I mean, I've written all kinds of tunes. You know, it's just there's so much out there to do.
Wow.
I play a lot of stride piano. You know, a lot of sort of night and day. You are the one. Only you beneath the moon and under the sun. Whether near to me or far makes no difference, baby, where you are. I think of you night and day. I do all that kind of stuff.
Did you grow up with theater as a part of your home?
Yeah. Well, you see, my mum was a dancer. So
Okay.
my mum was on the road
There you go.
dancing and singing when she was 11 years old. She was,
Gotcha.
you know, she was going to a different school every week,
Wow.
all around England and Wales and stuff.
Wow.
And my dad was a drummer, had his own band. He played Dixieland.
I grew up on a lot of that too. That's interesting.
Yeah, so I had that. My mum's brothers all, one was a pro, the other one wasn't a pro, but he was a good trumpet player. My dad's brother was a wonderful pianist.
Wow.
So my brother played. I was in a band with my brother, so we were together when I was 13, 14, 15, 16. Then I turned professional. But my brother didn't turn professional, but he was great. He was great keyboard player.
Wow, man. Okay, so that's so interesting that you mentioned that was going to be one of my questions. Have you ever thought about doing a musical?
Yeah, well, you know, I did have a particular organization that gave me an advance to develop it. Actually, at the time, and I couldn't really at the time when I was. If anyone out there has written a musical and knows the energy that goes into it, the idea, making an album is quite a big affair. But you've basically got to write a song, you've got a lyric, and you have it. You know, you play it. And then it's mixed, and then it's out there. With a show, you've got all that, and on top of that, you've got lighting, staging, dialogue, acting, lighting, and it's such a big thing, you know. And I couldn't sleep. I don't sleep well anyway, but I couldn't sleep for months doing this thing. You know, it's just so exciting, and you know, you get so excited you can't sleep night after night. And
that's rough.
Yeah, it was rough, but
rough.
It's such an exciting thing to do.
Yeah. That's how is it? Are you ever interested when somebody goes, "Oh, like myself? I've gotten to know different people over the years, and I'm like, oh, you do musicals, okay?" So then when I'm talking to somebody like yourself, is there ever an interest in collaborating with someone else, or are you kind of like, well, I'd rather just kind of keep it here, you know? Because like Bert Navarre from the Knack, he and his he has a friend with which they write musicals,
and
and
do they?
And I was like, you know, might be an interesting way to go, would be to contact somebody like that who's been in it for a while and has things done. And, but I didn't know, sometimes that gets a little messy, it's,
Well, it does. It does. I did write with the guy I wrote with the guy probably for, oh God, many years, for 10 years,
mhm,
probably longer than 10 years. I heard his songs, a couple of masters
okay.
that he'd written for other people. And
Mm,
he was just the most amazing songwriter. He didn't write choruses,
mhm,
but when I heard his songs, he wrote a song called A Little Love Is Overdue. A
mm,
Little Love Is Overdue. And another one was called Mankind, and how men, this is before I knew him, how it's mainly men, how human beings treat animals, So he wrote this thing called Mankind. Is mankind playing God again? He'll destroy us in the end. Maybe he'll feel better then. Is mankind playing God again?
mm,
Mama, one verse he sings from the viewpoint of a dolphin. I think it's a seal.
okay.
Then it goes into a dolphin. Then it goes into, and it ends in, I think, in a way this, or it ends. I can't remember, but each verse is an animal. Then it goes into that chorus, which is absolutely stunning. And I heard these, and I got his phone number, and I phoned him. Never met him before. I said, "Oh, Chris." His name's Chris Winter.
Hmm.
And it's just sensational, Sadly, now he has. We stopped writing together because he had
Mm.
he developed Parkinson's
Oh, shoot.
Parkinson's disease. I spoke to him yesterday actually,
Yeah.
and he was such a great writer. But we used to get together. He used to come down from Bristol down to here,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
2.5 hour journey.
Okay.
And every 6 weeks, he used to come down on a Thursday. And, it was really quality time in my life and
Yeah.
his, he tells me.
Yeah.
But he said, I never played the piano with him. He used to like sit down and play the piano. And I used to stand up and just throw in, what key are you playing in, Chris? I'm playing in F. You go, okay, put an A minor there, put an A minor there. And Shane, maybe if we go up there, and it was such an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
But I found it very easy with Chris. I don't find it so easy with other people because I find that I come up with an idea and I know more or less where I want it to go.
Right.
So if you're writing with somebody, you say, this is the title.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts, maybe playing the piano or maybe playing the guitar. And he goes away or she goes away writing a lyric. And you're writing a lyric, say, what you got? And it's completely different idea from me. And, it's very difficult to say to somebody, I just don't see it like that. I just, then it becomes very, very one-sided.
Yeah.
And I've said to people before, you won't like writing with me. I'm writing with David and Julie from Space Elevator at the moment. I've been writing with them for 2 years.
Yeah.
And when they first walked in, I said, you won't like writing with me. But but I am writing with them.
I'm just letting you know that right up front.
I say up front, you won't like writing with me, but we'll try. And in fact, we do get on really well. We do get on really well. They're a great band. They're a great band. They're very, very strong.
Yeah. I was just looking at seeing what they have here on Spotify too, whether or not how much there is. Are they newer?
Yeah, they've been around. They did have an album out. They had an album that was really good.
Okay. Yeah, I see they have Innuendo, a tribute to Queen.
Yeah, but they did that.
Here.
Well, David used to play in We Will Rock You, play in the show.
Oh, very cool.
So he knows all those solos and things,
Right.
and he was heavily into Brian May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, because I was thinking musical wise for you, I put together a playlist called Russ the Writer. So it was a bunch of these songs that you had recorded also and that had been recorded by others.
Mm.
And as I'm listening to those, I'm like, it would be, and I don't mean to put a correlation between the two. I'm just saying I could see almost a a compilation of those songs with some new stuff being like Rock of Ages was, where you have songs that are already big and people know, and you put those in to build a story around that. Yeah, not that Rock of Ages is the
Yeah,
best
well, I've
thing.
done that. I've done that with this latest album. It's a double album.
Yes.
So it's got all those old songs like since You've Been Gone, God Gave Rock and Roll to You, I Surrender. I've done most of those things. Winning.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, Santana did another one which I didn't include. It was a hit, which was Nowhere to Run, which was the guitar thing, big guitar thing. I didn't put that on there, but
nice.
I also did. I did two for Three Dog Night, and one of them I didn't include. I mean,
that
there's
is
quite
correct.
a few I didn't include, but
yeah.
I mean, this planet, you realize. I said to someone the other day, when you find a passion, I can only equate music in my life. When football was in my life as well when I was a kid, but my other passion was music, and I was allowed to do it. When I think about it, and when you find a passion, I said the world makes sense, because I think to actually get up every day and do a job you don't want to do, to settle for a job, to pay your expenses, to pay the mortgage, to feed the family. There's not much else in life. As you get older, so to me, I'm still doing music 24/7, and,
what a blessing.
The world makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense when you see things going on in the world. Does Gaza make sense? Does Ukraine, does that make sense? Russia, Ukraine.
Right.
And it's going on the same as it was going on when I was a kid. I was born into this when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And it's still going on, it's just madness.
It makes me
you
think
can
of
write a song, Mr. Putin, go and write a song. Go into the studio.
Yeah. Find some real love, find a real passion. A lot of times, I see these things happening. I'm like, these are just people who are they haven't been happy. They
can't be happy. It'd be very interesting to find out what goes on in their early life. You were talking about early life, and I'm a great advocate of the early life in a human being. I think that really kicks off. I think it's very influential in our makeup. Yeah. But you must have that love. You must have somebody that's your inspiration, or people. And I try to be an inspiration to the kids coming along, whatever.
Right.
I've got so many young friends, Stuart, got so many young friends, because music is the key. I'm working with Space Elevator. They're younger than me.
Yes, they are.
Because we're playing music together. We go out to eat together, and there's no generation gap.
Right.
Because, they realize that I'm listening to the same thing as them, basically. I've listened to the same thing, and I was there before they were born, actually, doing this.
Yes.
So, which is a funny thing. It's a funny thing. It's really weird, but it's exciting as well.
And I think it's neat when you do find a common ground, because there are those people that we find that we call the old soul,
Yeah. I believe in that as well. I'm getting more and more feel that is real.
Yeah.
The old soul.
And it sounds like you and I have that same experience, where the older I get, the younger my friends get.
Yeah. What was the Bob Dylan lyric? I was so much older then. I'm younger than that now.
Yeah, that's it exactly. That's it exactly.
Well, in many ways, I said to someone the other day, I don't feel any different than when I was 50. I don't feel. I mean, I run every day. I work out. And I have a trainer. I've got a new trainer. Sorry, Richard.
I was going to say, wait a minute.
I have another trainer, but in the lockdown, we stopped seeing each other.
Gotcha.
And my daughter introduced me to another trainer.
That's cool.
Anyway, Richard and I still love each other.
Yeah. Then I probably better let you get going. I don't know. You just time for one more question, or?
Yeah.
I don't want to keep you too long. I would love to have you back if that's possible. We can do something later, but I do look forward to someday meeting up with you as well and doing
Stuart,
that.
you know, if you ever come over to the country, we'll get together. And
Yeah,
if I come over to your
that's
the
great.
other side, the other side of the pond, as they say,
Yes,
we'll
exactly.
get together anyway. I'm sure we're going to meet.
Yes, I really hope so, and I hope it's
Yeah.
sometime soon. I have a friend of mine that lives over there in the Nottingham area, and they have a brand new album coming out. It's a band called Blitz, and they have this brand
Okay.
new album, and I did a voiceover for it.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to this thing coming out. So I will
Yeah.
definitely be coming over there. I keep telling him I'm coming over to hang out.
It's
When you
away
mentioned
from here.
Bristol too.
It's 100, I guess 120 miles from here, I guess.
Yeah, which is nothing. That's,
It's nothing in America.
Right. I found that out.
It took us 2.5 days when I first went to America in 1970.
Yeah.
It took 2.5 days to get from, we were playing in Chicago, and it was a blizzard.
Yeah.
It was snowing really bad. This was in March.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And everyone was saying, and our next gig was in Fillmore West.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in San Francisco.
Yes.
So people at CBS were saying to us, why don't you, this was in Chicago, why don't you take the train? You've got to take the train. It's amazing. You know, it's so, everybody flies and they go by road, but take the train. It's amazing. And it was amazing. 2.5 days just to get from Midwest to the West, to the far West.
No
it was
bullet
just
trains.
Amazing. 2.5 days, you know, Arizona, Cheyenne, Wyoming, all these places. It was just amazing. And it went from blizzard, snow, and we got higher and higher and higher. Next day, it's the sun came out, you know, and it got hotter and hotter. And we got off at Oakland.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah.
We got off at Oakland. We took all the tops off. We just had our T-shirts and vests, you know.
Yes.
It was so hot. And that was
Wow.
that 2.5 days later. It was amazing.
Oh, wow. Let me see if which one I know is going to be my last question today. Let's see. Let's see here. Okay, so let's do this one. A real quick question. Worldwide, this is one of these questions that I'm going to ask you that everybody asks, but that's why it's quick.
Yeah.
Worldwide, what has been your largest hit within its time of release? I was thinking someone like myself, because I'm a rock brain, but I love the other band too. I would maybe think Since You've Been Gone, but yet I think the answer is probably You Can Do Magic by America.
The most popular or the biggest seller.
Yeah, like the biggest charting hit in its time. Would that have been?
Right. Do you know, it's probably Since You've Been Gone, I think.
Do you think so?
Well, it's been done so many times.
Because it's worldwide too.
It's
So
it's worldwide. You see, America did well. They didn't do as well here.
Okay.
But it was a hit. It was a hit here.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think it was.
Okay.
And probably because of the title, I think God Gave Rock and Roll to You is probably the most well known. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong there.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I do enjoy your first two songs. I did. I was talking about I just got this in Wisconsin. We were up there for a family vacation with our son's family, and this was at the record shop Spin Shack in Baraboo, Wisconsin.
And you got it for 50 cents.
I got it for 75 cents. I am kidding. That's not right. It was $13. And I really enjoy it. It's
it was a different band then. I mean, we were very noisy. We were very noisy when we were playing live. We were really loud, or we displaced air.
How did you feel about being loud? Was it too loud? Were there nights where you're like,
well,
this is
you know,
too damn loud?
I love Rod Argent. I love him dearly. But you know, when Rod's an amazing keyboard player.
Sure.
But when he decided to get 3 Leslie cabinets, he had one. on the stage. When you decided after playing together for a year to get 3 and one my side of the stage. So I mean that was really loud. And then to have one mic'd up in the toilet backstage, it was to get it louder and louder, you know. And my fillings were rattling, you know, when you go, wee on
I know what you're saying.
on this high note. Wee.
I've often said, I don't know what it is about local, you know, when you're playing locally, you're in a club or something. You know, I had a guitar player, my great friend. He passed away at the end of last year, and he was like a brother to me. And but I'll tell you what, I was always like, it's too loud. It's too loud. Your amp, I can feel everything. And stop. You need to put make it a stand so that it's up by your ears. Because your ass, your ass and the back of your knees can't tell you how loud it is.
So that is right. That is so true. You know?
Like,
it's so
put it
true.
right here, and you'll know what I'm going through.
Yeah,
you know, because
but it's as I've said before, Stuart, it's better than work.
Yeah, yeah. It's a great bit of work. One last thing I will say too, based on what we talked about earlier, is there are no self-made men. That's one of my big deals. And
that's true.
I always say, if you think there's a self-made man, you better talk to his mama.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you wouldn't be here without her, and she went through a lot of shit to get him there. So
absolutely right.
You know, whoever it is, man or woman, there are no self-made people. We do need everybody. I really appreciate.
We do. That is it. You know, but it's sad that you have to learn this, but you know. It is it's training, you know, basically you know, education.
Yes. And not about, to me, it's not about change. I mentioned this to my last guest that I had a couple weeks ago before we went on vacation. It's not about change, it's about growth. It's because you are who you are, and people love you because of who you are. Your friends, your family who hang out with you, they love you for who you are. So if they ever talk about, well, you need to change, you're like, well, you love me. So why, you know, and it's not so hard to say, we need to grow. I have growing to do. You have growing to do. Let's do that together and figure out a way.
It's true. It's true. You know? I agree. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. It's kind of wild. Well, hey, if you have just a second to hang backstage for just a minute, I'll talk to you when we're done here. I want to just put up David W here, popped in and said, "Wee, hi, Russ."
Hi, David.
AKA Newsletter Dave. So,
Newsletter Dave.
Well, thanks to everybody for being here today, watching the show. And for chiming in. I love that. That's fantastic. That's how we grow here on the channel. Like and subscribe if you like what you've seen here, and we'll do some more of this content. And I want to especially thank you, Mr. Russ Ballard, for being here on the show today. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you here.
It's been a pleasure, Stuart. You've asked some good questions, and you're a good man.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate
You've only
that.
just met, but I know you're a good man.
Yeah. I you know, I do what I can with what I've got. So
that's great.
And try not to act a twat. That's pretty much it.
Well, that doesn't matter. It's never bothered me.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. All right. Well, then I'll talk to you backstage. Everybody, keep your eye on the show. We'll be doing some more cool stuff. I'll be back with some more content, and we will just keep it rocking for everybody. Thank you again. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, everybody. Bye, Stu.
See ya.